First up, ladies and gentlemen, a major breakthrough in the India-China border standoff. Foreign Secretary Brics Misri has announced that India and China have reached an agreement on patrolling arrangements and agreements along the line of actual control. Now, Misri said, and I quote, "As a result of discussions over the last several weeks, an agreement has been reached on patrolling arrangements along the India-China border. This is leading to disengagement and will eventually resolve the issues that arose in the year 2020. This is a significant move towards resolving the long-standing tensions at the line of actual control."
The agreement that has been reached, let me restate what I said earlier. I think what I've said speaks for itself and is fairly clear. There has been, you're aware of the events that took place in 2020 in several areas along the line of actual control. We've been in discussions with Chinese interlocutors, both at a diplomatic level, through the WMCC, as was mentioned earlier as well, and through at the military level as well, through meetings of the military commanders at various levels. These discussions had in the past resulted in the resolution of standoffs at various locations. You're also aware that there were a few areas and few locations where the standoff had not been resolved. Now, as a result of the discussions that have taken place over the last several weeks, an agreement has been arrived at on patrolling arrangements along the line of actual control in the India-China border areas, and this is leading to disengagement and eventually a resolution of the issues that had arisen in these areas in 2020.
Certainly big developments ahead of the Brics Summit slated to take place on the 22nd and the 23rd of October. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to attend the 16th Brics Summit, scheduled for the dates that I just mentioned in Kazan in Russia. Seen as more than just a diplomatic gathering, it marks a pivotal moment in the global landscape where the West's influence is being challenged and a new multipolar world order is emerging. At the heart of this transformation stands India, a key player in the Brics alliance, making this summit a significant event for the nation. India, with its strong commitment to Brics, is advocating for a multipolar world where international issues are not controlled solely by Western powers. Prime Minister Modi will be departing for Kazan tomorrow to attend the 16th edition of the summit at the invitation of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Here's India's Foreign Secretary, Mr. Misri, for the particulars.
Prime Minister will be departing for Kazan tomorrow to attend the 16th Brics Summit at the invitation of President Vladimir Putin. The theme of this edition of the summit is strengthening multilateralism for just global development and security. As you know, India is a founding member of Brics and has participated in all of its activities, its initiatives and engagement since its inception. India brings great value to Brics, and its contributions have played a vital role in shaping Brics efforts in areas such as economic growth, sustainable development and global governance reform. We place a great deal of importance on our involvement and our activities within the Brics Forum, as we view it as a key expression of global multipolarity.
Now, Brics, an acronym for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, was established in 2009 as a platform for fast-growing economies to challenge the dominance of Western institutions and policies. The group's expansion last year, with the addition of Egypt, Iran, Ethiopia and United Arab Emirates, solidified its global reach and influence. And this is the first summit that will be taking place after the first ever expansion of the Brics last year in Johannesburg. Moving on, in a significant development, the demolition of the illegal portion at the Sanjoli Mosque in Himachal Pradesh in Shimla. It has begun. The cost for this demolition is being borne by the Sanjoli Mosque Committee themselves. This demolition comes after the Waqf Board granted permission to demolish 3 illegal floors of the mosque in Sanjoli in Himachal Pradesh. Mosque Committee Chairman Mohammad Latif confirmed the board's approval to remove the illegal construction, the 3 floors that we're talking about. This comes after a 14-year-long legal battle. The Municipal Corporation Commissioners Court issued a ruling on the 5th of October regarding the illegal construction following 38 notices from the Municipal Corporation since the year 2010.
जो मस्जिद के लोग हैं वही उन्होंने कहा था और उसका खुद ही जब उन्होंने कह दिया कि अगर कुछ अवैध है तो हम उसको तोड़ देंगे, तो अब जो हमारे मुस्लिम समुदाय के भाई है, जो मस्जिद के प्रधान हैं, इमाम हैं, वो खुद चाहते हैं लीगल है, तो क्योंकि वो सौहार्द बना रहे तो वो खुद उन्होंने किया, तो उसमें हम उसमें कोई सरकार का कोई हस्तक्षेप नहीं होता। धन्यवाद।
नहीं, देखिए, मैं तो पहले तो जो उन्होंने एक इनिशिएटिव लिया है उसका वेलकम करता हूं। जो उन्होंने वॉलंटरीली तरीके से अवैध जो भवन है और उसके जो अवैध पोर्शंस है, जो 3 फ्लोर है, उसको डिमोलिश करने का जो फैसला है उसको अमली जामा आज से पहनाना शुरू किया है। मामला क्योंकि कोर्ट में है, म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर के कोर्ट में है, तो वहाँ पे वो इसकी अर्जी डाले कि हमको इसमें एक्सपेंशन ऑफ समय चाहिए, तो वहाँ पे इसका फैसला लिया जाएगा। मगर मेरा इसमें कुछ कहना मुझे लगता है वो ठीक नहीं रहेगा। बाकी मेरा तो यही अपील है प्रदेश के लोगों से कि अच्छा माहौल बनाए रखें, इस तरीके की कोई भी परिस्थिति ना हो जिससे भाईचारा आपस में खराब हो। प्रदेश को हमें आगे लेकर जाना है और प्रदेश के 70 लाख लोगों के हितों की रक्षा हमको करनी है। वो चाहे किसी भी क्षेत्र से है, किसी भी जाति से है, किसी भी धर्म से है, हमने सब लोगों के हितों को देखना है और उनकी पैरवी करनी है।
वक्फ बोर्ड का आदेश आया है कि आप वो काम शुरू कर दो, हम पैसे हम नहीं देंगे, आपको हमने अलाउ कर दिया, आप काम करो। और पैसे के लिए उन्होंने मना कर दिया, हम कोई पैसे नहीं देंगे, अपने फंडिंग से अपनी जो कमेटी जैसे मर्जी करो, हम आपको पेमेंट देंगे, आप काम शुरू करो।
कितने मंजिल तोड़ेंगे और कब से?
एक्चुअली हमारा 3 मंजिल का नक्शा था, एमसी कोर्ट में गया, हम उनसे भी बात करेंगे कि भाई वो 3 मंजिल का, तो 2 मंजिल को हमने उनको बोला था कि 2 मंजिल हम उठाने को तैयार है। अब 3री मंजिल के लिए उनसे बात करेंगे, बाकी जो है देखते हैं, उनसे एमसी कोर्ट से हम बात करेंगे कि भाई हमको तो 2 मंजिल बोला था, हमने 2 मंजिल लिख के दिया था उनको, तो उसमें मैं नहीं था बोलने वाला, मेरे साथ वक्फ बोर्ड का ऑफिसर भी थे, उन्होंने भी कहा था कि ठीक है, हम आपके साथ है, और जो गलत है आप उसको हटा सकते हैं। हटाने में तो सर्दी का टाइम है, छत अभी हो सकता है शुरू हो जाएगी 2 दिन में, आज भी हो सकता है शुरू हो जाए, उसके बाद टाइम तो लग ही जाएगा थोड़ा ना जी।
Well, a decade-long legal battle and finally the demolition. Welcome back. You're watching News 9 Live. In a significant escalation, Israel and Hezbollah have exchanged fire along the Israel-Lebanon border. We've got fresh visuals for you. This flare-up coincides with the arrival of U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein, who is set to hold talks with Lebanese officials in Beirut regarding potential ceasefire conditions between the 2 warring sides. Israeli air defense systems intercepted a barrage of rockets fired by Hezbollah, with the Israeli army reporting the identification of 25 launches from Lebanon into northern Israel. In response, Israel carried out multiple strikes in southern Lebanon, targeting sites it's claimed were used by Hezbollah to finance its operations. Massive explosions and fires erupted near Beirut's international airport on Sunday night, shrouding the area in complete black thick smoke. Aircraft had landed shortly before the blasts as tensions between Israeli military and Hezbollah escalated. Hundreds of residents in Beirut evacuated their homes late Sunday after Israel announced plans to strike locations tied to the financial operations of Hezbollah and urged people to vacate those areas immediately. There was no immediate information on the cause of the explosions or any reports of casualties, but panicked crowds flooded the streets, leading to traffic jams in parts of Beirut as they sought refuge in safer areas, according to witnesses.
It's a Noor. It's a Noor back.
Hello.
Less than 2 weeks left, bringing you updates vis-a-vis the U.S. White House race. And with the U.S. presidential election just over 2 weeks away, Democrat Kamala Harris visited 2 churches on Sunday, while a Republican rival, Donald Trump, visited another kind of American temple, a McDonald's, where he again accused Harris of lying about having previously worked at the fast food chain.
With the U.S. presidential election just over 2 weeks away, Democrat Kamala Harris and her Republican rival Donald Trump spent the weekend trying to court early voters and shore up support in some of the most competitive states. Harris marked her 60th birthday on Sunday while campaigning in Georgia, outside of Atlanta. She spent the day visiting 2 churches, including a Baptist church in the city of Stonecrest. In remarks there, Harris delivered a message of unity, drawing a contrast between her vision for America and the divisive rhetoric of the current political climate, though she did not mention Trump by name.
And what kind of country do we want to live in? A country of chaos, fear, and hate, or a country of freedom, compassion, and justice?
Meanwhile, Trump on Sunday was at a McDonald's in suburban Philadelphia.
My first day at McDonald's, I'm looking for a job.
The former president cooked batches of French fries and handed out orders to supporters through the drive-thru window.
Now I have worked at McDonald's. I've now worked for 15 minutes more than Kamala. Okay, she never worked here.
Trump has said the McDonald's visit was intended in part as a jab at Harris, who says she worked at the fast food chain during her college years. Trump claims Harris never worked there, but he has provided no evidence to back that up. A Harris spokesperson said the stunt was a sign of Trump's desperation. When asked if he would accept the results of the 2024 election, Trump had this to say.
Yeah, sure, if it's a fair election, always. I would always accept it if it's got to be a fair election.
After a rally in Lancaster, Trump made his last Sunday Pennsylvania stop at a Pittsburgh Steelers game, where he pumped his fist to cheers from the crowd. Pennsylvania's Democratic Governor Josh Shapiro said Sunday on NBC's Meet the Press that the race in his state is tight. Georgia and Pennsylvania are 2 of the most competitive states in the country, with the latter standing out as the biggest prize on Election Day.
Like the former president stated, he's worked at a McDonald's, allegedly 15 minutes more than Kamala Harris. But as the clock ticks down to the U.S. presidential election, just 2 weeks remain in that fiercely contested battle between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. In this high-stakes showdown, we take you through the American lens and reports from the U.S. media, revealing a deeply confused electorate at this point in time. A report in CNN suggests people are more uncertain about this year's result than any election they've covered ever on and gone through. Some of them, and some of that is due to the polls that they say are really tight, but it's also because of every good signal for Donald Trump. There seems to be a good one for Kamala Harris as well. Many Americans believe this election has a lot on the line, and yet to most, it's still a race with multiple potential outcomes, from a clear victory to a contest that can't be projected until late into election night, or a week to a decisive Trump win. Let's take a look at some of those possible and plausible propositions. Well, of course, number 1, Harris's easiest path to victory runs through winning the blue wall, states of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. If she loses in the Sun Belt battlegrounds of that's Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, and North Carolina, carrying the 3 Great Lakes states along with Nebraska's 2nd district and all the other states Joe Biden won in 2020, would get Harris exactly 270 electoral votes. But on the other hand, polling averages in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin show the margins between Harris and Trump are at under a point right now. Were that to hold on until election day, it would be the first time in at least 50 years that any of those 3 states had final average margins within a point. Many Republicans are also hoping that the close polling points to a blowout win for Trump next month. The former president outperformed the polls significantly in 2016 and in 2020. If Trump did so again, he would likely coast to victory, getting over 300 electoral votes. This could also mean, by the way, the election is likely to come down to the few voters who remain undecided. More than 2/3 of likely voters believe that this is the most important election of their lifetime, including 72% of Trump supporters and 70% of Harris backers. The 5% of voters who are currently undecided who will and might just determine which of them walks away with this election happy. Ironically, only 24% of those undecided voters agree that this election is the most important of their lifetime. How painful it must be for those who really care about this election that it will be decided by many who really don't care about the election at this point in time. Well, time for us to slip into a quick commercial break here. Top developments on the other side. Keep watching News 9 Live.